motorhome, the Expedition Auto Trail 68XL, and we're here with a guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dom Robinson, deep wreck diver on various social media channels. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Excellent. No, thanks for coming in, being our first guest in this camper van. So all good, and welcome to the Go Diving show as well. So
yeah, thank you.
We've got some questions for you.
Go for it.
First one being, what does being underwater mean to you?
So for me, it's a couple of different things. The first thing is it's about exploration and finding new stuff, and that's kind of where my diving has ended up, and I really enjoy that. I love finding new things. I love stories and sorting underwater mysteries. But the other part of that, which is also really important, is it's an opportunity to do things with people I enjoy spending time with my friends, with people who share the same passion as I do. So a couple of different things there.
Yeah. So what's your diving story? So how did you get into diving?
My diving story. So when I was a kid, I lived in Papua New Guinea, which was pretty nice.
Wow.
And my dad, I was 10 or 11 years old at the time. My dad and mum were diving out there. My dad put a set of diving gear on me, dragged me over a coral reef, and I went and swam around, and pretty much that hooked me. I then, when I joined the military, I was in the army. I had the opportunity to go and learn, and I had the opportunity to do a whole load of diving with the military, and I went from there basically.
Oh wow.
Brilliant. Very good.
And then now you're a YouTuber. You've got a big Instagram following, and how's that all going?
Yeah, it's slightly bizarre, really. It's I guess I didn't expect any of this kind of stuff. I've always, in the last 4 or 5 years, I've started taking videos underwater, mainly for myself, so that I could review the dive afterwards. And I was looking at these things and I was like, you know what, I think people would enjoy seeing these things.
Yeah.
So I started putting them online and putting an audio track over the top of them to explain what was happening and everything. And it went a bit bonkers, if I'm honest.
And it's not easy, is it, doing that?
No, I mean, I don't need to tell you guys. I'm sure that making online content is far more time consuming and far more challenging than people
Especially
think
video
it is.
work, yeah.
Yeah, and I look back at some of my early videos and I cringe a bit. I'm sure you guys have the same with some of your earlier work, and that's part of it as well. I actually quite enjoy the making of videos. I quite enjoy the technical aspects of it as well, and so that's really good. And the other thing that's kind of come out of it is I've made these really interesting connections, and I've like you guys do, I guess, I've spoken to all sorts of different people, and I've learned a whole load from that. So the video that I released last weekend, I had a chat with Dr. Mark Turner, who is probably the world's leading expert on PFOs, really important subject for divers. And even though I've been diving 30 odd years, he told me some stuff that I was like, wow, I didn't know that, and frankly I should have known that. And in fact I've spoken to lots of other people and they're like, we don't know that as well, and I'm like, how is it that this information that he knows and is really commonly known amongst his profession isn't out there for divers? So obviously I had the opportunity to put it out there.
I suppose a lot of that is new science, I expect, is it? No,
it's not. It's not. I mean, I'll tell you what it is. It's PFOs, so holes in the heart.
Yeah.
When you do your diver training, people will tell you that 25% or a third of people have got a PFO.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all taught, and you go, okay, well that's fine, that's interesting. What he says is that's not relevant. He says the bit that's relevant is about 1 in 100 people has got a PFO that will put you at a high risk of decompression sickness, and 1 in 20 people have got a PFO that will put you at moderate risk of decompression sickness. Everybody else with a PFO, it's so small it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I guess his suggestion was that people who use the 1 in 3 or the 1 in 4 thing are doing it to kind of minimise the importance of PFOs. What we should be taught is that there are a small group of people who have got a much, much higher risk. 26 times was the number that he came out with.
Wow.
So if you're that 1 in 100, you've got 26 times the risk of decompression sickness. And for me, that is a piece of information that people should know, because then they can make informed decisions. Do they want to go for a PFO check, for instance? So that would be. Anyway, so I put that out in the video. I actually think that's a really important contribution.
Yeah. And for divers currently diving, maybe that will then think, well, maybe I should just get a check.
And actually, the other thing he said is, he said, so obviously there's now going to be a rush of people to go and get PFO check. He said the other thing you need to be aware of is PFO checks, like most things, if they're done by people who don't do them regularly, aren't particularly effective. He said if you're going to go for a PFO check, you need to go with somebody who is used to doing PFOs. So in the same way that you don't want, an amateur repairing your car, you don't want an amateur doing your PFO checks. PFO check, you want somebody who is really competent. So we've ended up down a bit of a rabbit hole there.
No, it's a good point though.
Yeah.
Good point.
No, very good.
Good point.
No, another question is, if you could name 3 people you would most love to dive with, who would they be?
Well, obviously it's got to be Jack Cousteau, hasn't it? As number one. I am then going to. Who else am I going to go with? Well, I'm very fortunate. I get to dive with Lee Bishop quite a lot.
Yes.
So I am very pleased to dive
Come
with
on,
Lee
Lee,
Bishop.
finish your book.
Yeah, and come on, Lee, finish your book. And the other person I would like to dive with again, and unfortunately I'm never going to be able to, is Rick Ayrton, who unfortunately has retired from diving, and that's a real pity because I loved diving with him, and I would love to dive with him again.
Yes, yeah, and we have spoken to him on the podcast, and yeah, he was a great guest to chat to. Yeah. Yep. And then one more question.
One more question. Yeah, we have. We've got 3 minutes left of our time. If we give you a billboard and you can put anything you like on that billboard, whether it's a poster, a video, a statement, anything you like, what are you going to put on that billboard? The whole world can see.
I'm going to say, come and watch my YouTube channel. Clearly,
Go for it.
so I'm going to put my YouTube channel on there, and so you can come and see some great tales of exploration, discovery.
Yeah.
I've put plenty of
deep wreck diving,
lots of that. Some incidents on there, some things that I've done not particularly well, and increasingly, obviously, some great people that I've had the opportunity to speak to, and Mark Turner, who I just mentioned there, is a great example. But some of the others I've got on there that I think are really interesting is there's a couple of people who've come up and shared their stories.
Yeah.
So Tash Scott and Fran Iosu, who've both had incidents underwater, and they've actually been really brave, because in this industry people, I don't think, like to put themselves above the parapet and go, you know what, I'm going to hold my hand up here, and here's something that happened to me that I, it might be a little bit embarrassing, where I've made some poor choices, and actually they've done that, and good effort to them, frankly. And I think we can all learn from that, and I think it would be better for everybody in the industry if more people were willing to accept they weren't perfect. So,
and we all learn from our own mistakes and other people's mistakes as well. Yeah,
absolute certain. In fact, so the other one I want to mention, of course, and I can't believe I have forgotten already, is the Adam Dent, who was the sole survivor from the Scylla tragedy of the three guys went in and only one came out, and he also, I can't believe I've forgotten him, he spoke on the channel very matter of fact about a horrendous incident that claimed the lives of 2 of his good friends, and once again he said some things there that I think were probably quite raw and really nice to get those captured, because we all think we knew what happened in that incident, but to get it first hand from the person who was there, I think was really important.
So what's coming up for you? What's on the horizon?
Well, so this year I'm going to dive Britannic in about 6 weeks' time.
Oh, that'd be awesome!
Exciting.
Yeah, so that'll be pretty cool. So I've not done it before. Obviously, really exciting.
So about 120 metre dive.
Yeah, the bottom's 120. The top of it is about 90.
Yeah.
So I think most people go to the bottom, see the bottom, and then, but most of the dives you do are kind of 90, 100 metres. So that's where the interesting kind of stuff is. But just before that is a wreck. When you dive the Britannic, as kind of your workup dives, there's a wreck called the Burdigala, which is much less well known, 70 metres, and by all accounts is a much nicer dive.
Really?
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to doing both of those. And so that's in April. I'm doing something I've not done before this year. I'm going to go to Dover.
Oh, really?
I'm going to go and dive in Dover, and I'm really excited about it.
Is that with Mr. Bishop as well?
Not with Mr. Bishop, it's with Mutiny Divers, Chris Webb. So he said, "Why don't I come and dive out of Dover?" And I was like, "Yeah, brilliant." So I'm going to go and do that, and I've got 8 days there. I think there's a few targets he's got.
Oh no, time's up.
I hope that was okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Yeah, really, really good.
That was
Yeah, that's
awesome.
good
No,
to
but
get-
thank you very much for being our first guest in the